Hi, my name is Jeff and this is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north. So it's a greenhouse update for December. It's actually, I'm cheating a little bit, it's December the 1st tomorrow, but it's a nice sunny day. We've had a very cold night, -1 degree Celsius. I'm just going to turn you around. You can just see the extent of the sun coming through the roof there. It's just about getting, I'd say, about a foot of the roof, but the sun will go lower in the sky yet. I suppose peak isn't the right word. It troughs. the lowest that the sun gets will be middle of December. Well, got 21st of December into the equinox, I think. So it will get worse. There's a little bit just sneaking through the gable end there, which is quite nice to get, but it's not really warming us up so much in here. As a follow-up from me switching all these, like the ones that look like strip lights, the LED, they look like strip LED lights, no, fluorescent lights, beg your pardon. I switched all those off, and then the following night it's been -1, so it cost £3.74 for my heater last night. It was on a long time, but I still feel by switching the other three off, that would be £55 a month I've saved there, so I would expect the heater to be on longer. So we'll see anyway as time goes by. So I thought I'd do a quick update on some of the things that's happened to the plants, and there are a few things to talk about. So it's nice to get back to plants actually, so I'll just flip you around and we'll have a look at what's happened recently. Okay, I've actually remembered to turn the camera back on again. So first off, this, I always get it wrong, Neostylis loose sneery blue, which isn't blue, it's white. That's finished its flowers. That was really nice, really enjoyed that one, lovely fragrant blooms. The bougainvillea in the corner, that's doing actually really well. I think the Mars Hydro is really helping these things. You can see that even, despite the fact that it's December tomorrow, it's moving beyond. Like this particular trellis starts there, and I put that up about a month ago, and you can actually see now it's gone beyond the trellis, and you can just about see it's actually going to come out with some bracts, so I might get a little bit of colour on it, despite the fact that it's quite late in the year. So I'm going to have to put some more trellis up there, because my plan is that it goes right the way up there and then starts to move along the roof, and that's the overall plan. So the Streptocarpus are finishing now, which I expected. There's still a few flowers on them, as you can see. The ones that I'm putting down below are the ones that they had finished flowering. 1 or 2 have popped back up again. There's a couple over there, and there's a couple up there. But I think there's more flowers going on them now than new ones coming. One of the new Cattleyas down there, I'm going to have to move that up soon. I just put it there really because it's not very stable, and I wanted to lean it against something. It lost its flowers, it's lost a leaf. I can see another one beginning to go yellow there. I hope this is nothing I'm doing that's causing this. Just flip back to the bougainvillea again. I am waiting for that compost there to go like a really pale brown colour before I water it again. And that seems to have worked, and since I've lifted it up off the tray, that's definitely made all the difference, and I'm not getting anywhere near the leaf drop that I was getting previously. This Cattleya still going, gorgeous Cattleya still, but you can see the leaves are the petals are beginning to go there. What else have we got? The Hibiscus still looking chlorotic there on top, a little bit limp. I did water it quite recently. But I'm still, I think, I've had the Mars Hydro grow light on now for probably only about a week, so let's see if that makes any difference. Good news with the Plumeria. Lots of people told me that they can drop the leaves, which I'm really grateful to people for pointing that out. It does seem to have slowed down since the Mars Hydro's been on. It's not dropping at the same rate as it was before, but, and here's the good news, you can see, and these weren't there before, see these little kind of where the new leaves are going to come from. That's all new, and the same over there, that's all new. So I'm not killing it. I watered it. I'll wait till it goes, and it's really dry now actually, and quite a few people have told me just not to water it at all. I am going to give it a little bit, but just to be awkward. But not, you know, I'll probably leave it a couple of weeks like that first, and then I'll just give it a little tiny bit and see what happens. Sherry Baby's still looking brill. We've got both spikes together there, kind of holding each other up. I think I'm getting a little bit more scent than I was previously, but for some reason, whatever this Sherry Baby one is compared to other people's, it just doesn't seem to have the scent that other people's do, which I was really disappointed over. But I mean, how can you be disappointed in those flowers? So that's changed since the last time you saw things. Non-orchids, carnivorous plants, pictures on these looking really good. You can just see on that one, you can wobble it about, you see the liquid inside. Now I've not put that in, that's just there automatically, it does it itself. So this is Nepenthes ventrata, supposedly one of the easier to grow ones, more vigorous ones. It's not put much growth on since I bought it, but again, you know, we're out of season, aren't we? This one is Nepenthes ventricosa. That's been in flower absolutely ages. The Brassia still looking brill, and I can still detect a nice faint smell of, I was going to say old folks home. We don't call them old folks home in the States, do you? I know it's not a very nice care home. That's the word, isn't it? We call them care homes these days. I'm just showing my age there, but it really smells of like if you would go to one of these National Trust properties and you go inside and they've got all this old furniture. That's what it smells like. A little bit bizarre. Racara growth pushing on there. There it is, nice new growth, getting lots of leaves on it. I was worried that I put too much moss in here because it does tend to stay damp for ages, but it doesn't seem to mind. I was told treat it like a cattleya. There's a little new leaf coming inside there, but I do leave it. I've got it well drained. I've got lots of holes in the pot, and I do leave it a long time. I wait for it to dry out before I do anything with it. These warm growing ones, I can't remember if it's the Hookeriana. You can see there that's just brown a little bit on the tip. That could be the cold. They're both still damp. The Fusca, I think it was the Fusca that was supposedly a warm growing one. This is the Renanthera. Gosh, I can't read it. I can't read the name from here, and I need another third hand. That's like a little yellowing leaf under there. It does seem to be growing, but I don't know. Not sure about that yellow leaf. I have to keep my eye on that one. Burragera. I think I'm saying this wrong. I've heard other people say. Let me just reach for the label. Pardon me. Here we go. Can't read that one. Where are we? Burragera, Nellie Isla. I did hear somebody said it was called something else, so something odontoglossum, was it? I don't know. I need some of the orchid people to help me with that one. Just keeps coming and coming and coming. It already had 2 flower spikes, and then it when those faded, it grew these 2 more, and now they're not going over by any means, because there's a bud there. There's a brand new spike there. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. Nellie Isla, I guess that's why I hear a lot of it. Eds, I've not killed it yet. Ed's orchid there, that's still coming. There's a new growth in the middle there. I've not had it long enough really to know what's changed. So Tuanum still going, just about hanging on. The Cyclamen looking brilliant. Zygopetalum, if you remember last time I had a problem with, there was one of these growths here, looked like it had got damaged in the post. I thought probably too cold and it went all black. I cut that off, and I'm glad to say it's kind of settled down, and these flowers are just hanging on in there, and they do smell really nice if you get your nose up to them. So I think I'm quite happy. I think I've managed to get it through the worst bit. Well, this is another one I've read, treat them like Masdevallias. It's funny, everything that you have is all as a treat it like something else, not treat it like itself. Treat them like Zygopetalums. That's my advice. This one, this is, I forget, Dendrobium nobilis star class. Oh. And I can't seem to kill it really, it just keeps coming and coming. It's got lots of new buds on it again, so that should be coming in flower again soon. It just keeps flowering all the time, really. You know, it's very rarely without a flower. I think now is probably the first time I've seen it in 12 months without a flower, but it's ready for some more. So yeah, that's looking good. Now, I really must discuss at some point these Trader Scantias because I love them. I think they're brilliant. I mean, look at the colour under there. I mean, I know we all like flowers and blooms, but look at the colours. And they're so easy. I'll do a. In fact, I'm going to get some more because I like the foliage ones as well. And look at this one. This is Trader Scantia Tricolour Minima. These were from cuttings. And like you basically just send off on eBay, and they just send you like literally like that much there, and you think, what on earth have I paid for here? But when you're only paying about £3. And you basically stick them in either a cup of water. See, I'm giving the game away here now, but I'll still do a video on it because I want some more. You stick them in a cup of water, or just a bit of either. I mean, you can use, you know, like a soiled peat-based, compost-based media, or you can just use vermiculite or perlite, and they will root in anything. They'll root in the matter of, you know, you can watch them root virtually. This white one here is the same. That belongs to this plant. You can see how they're joined down there. It's the same plant. How bizarre is that? They're just so variable. Same. Wouldn't think it. As is, I'll just point this out here. These two plants, the same. The one on the right, believe it or not, is the younger one. The one on the right came from the one on the left. So these Trader Scantias, really nice to have kind of creeping around the greenhouse. That one's going off up there by the sink. I've got some hanging on the wall here. Again, this is from the same plant. This is a Trader Scantia, just a green one. Again, the coal's got the tips there. Have a look over at this one. There we go. Pardon me. Another little no ID foul there. Heater's just kicked on. Still going strong in the corner. Shows no sign. I believe they're also called Mandevalia. I have to look that up. Diplodenia sandera is what I call them. That's going off up. There it goes. It's just up to there. Now, I did do some cuttings of those, if you remember. I don't know if they've rooted or not yet, but they're looking okay. They're not dead. And I think you was with me when I did some strep ones. Now this one, these are Titania, which is that purple one there that everybody liked. Although it's not looking its best now, it's just about ready for going. And I don't know if you can see. Can you see there? Two new little leaves. That's how they come. I don't know if there's one. Yeah, there's another one down there. So some of these are newer than others. And then these, the polka dot purple, I did quite recently, so they've not come yet. I'm just putting these on the side there just to try and get rid of some of this condensation. Put them back on again soon. There is very definitely something in this. Can you see down below there? Can you see like droppings? I think it's a worm. I think there's a big wriggly worm inside there. I'm going to wait till it's finished flowering it, and then I'm going to do something about it. I'll probably repot it actually and get rid of it. Doesn't seem to be doing much damage, but I don't really want it in there, to be honest. Now these were keikis off the Dendrobium nobilis star class, and that's going to flower for the first time. You can see there all the buds. That's going to be nice. Where are we? Move back over here. Yeah, one of the pelargoniums has decided it's going to bloom despite it being nearly December. And I must do something about this Hoya. I was watching Brad's videos on Hoyas recently. I don't know, perhaps anybody who's got any Hoya experience, tell me what you think, because it grew up to that point like that length, and then it's been stuck at that length at either side now for probably about 4 months. So I don't know, they just let it dangle. So yeah, that's your question of the day. Do we tie it up or do we let it dangle? Questions on a postcard, answers on a postcard even. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm more prone to dangling than I am to supporting. Let it loose, that's what I say. So Dendrobium cuthbertsonii, this is the one that everybody said keep really, really wet. So I've stopped doing that now because it's lost most of its roots, but it seems to have recovered, and I keep my eye on it now. And at this time of year, anyway, in my environment, I'm only watching it every couple of weeks when it looks like it needs it, I suppose, is the answer. And we've nearly got an Oncidium sweet sugar. Nearly. Waited a long time for that. Cephalotus, still looking brilliant. All these lovely little pictures. I know they're not orchids, but you can't deny that's not a nice thing to look at. Look at that big one there and all the red colour on it. It's just that they just fascinate me. I just think how something like that could have evolved is just an incredible thing. Plumeria's still looking good, and that yellow leaf. I know it's still looking yellow, but I don't think it's looking as bad as before I had the lights. I think the lights have made a difference. Masdevallia, loads of blooms on it. This is Snowbird. I definitely want more of these. They just seem to do so well here. I mean, I've not even repotted it yet, and I've had it. When did I get it? I don't know if I've written on it. That's something I definitely need to do. Everything I buy, I need to write a date on it. I've had it just short of 12 months, I think. And I've shown you this. Still looking superb. Oncidium Cinnamon Twinkle. That smells, I mean, I know it's higher up to the Sherry Baby, and it's just kind of at nose level for people when they walk in. Not my nose, but for everybody else's noses, mine's much higher. We've got the Miltonia spectabilis. Since I repotted it seems to me anyway, I've put a bit of a spurt on. It's got loads of new growths on it. There's the one that I nearly cut off. I'll just cut the tips off it there. That'll teach me not to go mad cutting sheaths off without checking what's behind them first. The Miltoniopsis. I think I posted on somebody's forum the other day. Do you ever see any of these without concertinaed leaves? I know why mine were concertinaed, because of the moisture. Now that doesn't look, it's not really wet. It's still a bit damp. You can still see underneath there, but it's definitely not going to water. Not until, just give it a little hand there. Anything I can do to help. There we go. I guess these won't puff out again. Need to get them on the ironing board, sort them out. So these up here, these Coelogenes. So I'm getting a bit kind of mixed up. So we've got, I'm sure Roger and Rachel won't mind me mentioning this, but they've done 2 different videos. Rachel, if I've got this correct, keeps watering hers through the winter. Roger's decided not to, or to at least give it a lot less to try and make it bloom. Mine didn't bloom. Mine's probably about 18 months old, but it was very small. It certainly puffed out lots of these bulb things, pseudo bulb things, and they're all nice and plump. Now I noticed when I left it, I was going through a leaving phase, and you could very clearly see a lot of these older ones had started to shrivel, and virtually the moment I watered them, they all puffed out again. So looking at that, it doesn't really make sense to me to leave them to shrivel. Maybe it's just a case of watering it when they start to shrivel rather than giving them too much over the winter. So other Coelogenes, speciosa, still looking great. Just keeps pumping out these flowers. It's been in flower now probably a couple of months. These are all new blooms again, and there's another one coming there. So quite happy with that one. This is the best position to see it, looking upwards. I've got a Vanda there, that's never done anything. Lots of flowers, lots of roots on it, but it's not bloomed for me yet. That was one of the first ones I got. So that's it, that's an update. I think that's all we've got going on at the moment. I really need some new plants, and I've been doing an awful lot of videos on setting things up and but you know, don't forget, I only got this greenhouse in March, and I'm learning about the environment really, and learning about what it's like through winter, what it's like in terms of how much sun I get, what it's like for the temperatures. My floor seems to be working well. Somebody did mention this. It's they're these tiles. They're like a foam tile that you just slot together. Easy to cut. You cut them with a pair of scissors, and underneath that I've got a weed suppressing membrane, and underneath that is soil. It's a little bumpy, but the foam tile does seem to you know, compensate for the bumps, so it's not bumpy in as much as you're not falling over, and it does mean that everything drains away. And I know there's going to be nothing comes up through it. It's all sealed around the edges as well, so these slugs that are getting in, I'm guessing really they're probably coming from the door more than anything. So yeah, that's it. That's a greenhouse update. So I should be getting some more plants in December. This here, that's still growing quite strongly. Spotty Dotty, Begonia Gryphon, otherwise known as Spotty Dotty. Again, it's only really a foliage plant. It does bloom, of course, but you get it for the foliage. I like foliage. I like these ferns. I think look really good. Solve that problem. This is a prayer plant. One of these that kind of flop at night time. You can only really tell when they're bigger. There was a big one in one pot. It was like so high, but it just filled the pot, so I just chopped it down in the middle, and now I've got that one and that one. Just like, if anyone's familiar with hostas, just basically got a spade, chopped it down the middle, and repotted them in the same size pot that it was in originally, and that's what I've ended up with, 2 of those. So that was quite nice. Look at this. This is the what's this? Cyperus involucratus. I can't remember. Look at the roots coming through underneath. This was the Egyptian, I think it was the false papyrus grass, but it's still very similar to papyrus. It's probably a lot smaller, I'm guessing. Lots of foliage plants going nicely there. And the fern's still looking good. That's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you know the drill. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and you want to continue to see my journey in the tropical greenhouse. Just mention this one before I go. So Epidendrum Comet Valley Orange Star. I overwatered it. You detect a recurring theme here. I overwatered it last year and it lost all its roots, so I had to use, you know, again, if you're a fan of Rick's channel, you'll probably recognise the way I've done the wiring there to kind of, you can see, to put it into position, because it had nothing, no roots whatsoever. Well, you can see that's completely changed now. It's got loads and loads of roots, and it's just simply making sure it's drained and it dries out enough. They just don't like to sit in water. They like those roots to get nice and let the water run off them before you water them again. Definitely err on the side of caution. I can't remember if my repotting of pelargonium is a root pruning of a pelargonium. Well, this is it. That's the root prune pelargonium, and this is a week later, and it doesn't look like it's suffered much, does it? It looks quite happy down there, probably enjoying the Mars Hydro in its new position. And I've got more space. I've got a smaller pot, and hopefully I'll get some flowers this year on it. So that's it anyway, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.